This episode is brought to you by
Mind your own business!
It's in the Black Bag. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Podcast Assemble, show where you come for your rambling geeky download. My name's Tommy, and I am delighted, as always, to be joined by my friend and co-host who is across the pond. It's our resident counterintelligence officer of the pod, or is he? DL, how are you, mate?
Yellow. It's a color.
Are you getting all that information to take me down?
Yeah, dude. I'm like spinning satellites, clenching my rectum, doing all sorts of weird.
You were very
things.
close to being the rectum clencher of the pod. I mean, we're talking millimeters here. There was zero in it.
Yes,
but
yes.
imagine if this was your first ever time tuning into Podcast Assemble, and I described you as the rectum clencher of the pod.
I let the audience think what they think. Yeah,
You can let me know what you think of DL. Is he a rectum clencher or is he the counterintelligence officer of the pod? It is at Podcast Assemble on Instagram.
Tommy, I'm winking at you right now. Notice my eyes.
I can see your eyes.
Winking. Okay, where are we going with this?
If anyone hasn't guessed yet, and why would you? We're talking about Black Bag this week. A movie with Michael Fassbender and Kate Blanchett and a fabulous cast. It's the spy thriller. That's the podcast. We did it.
There's a scene where apparently like somebody's getting polygraphed and she's apparently like there's a technique, and I wouldn't know because I've never been polygraphed. If you wink your rectum or clench it helps
it real tight.
Helps you stop lying, which would be like really funny if that like wasn't true and you just went in super confident, just like fucking clenching, dude, and then you just end up with like a hernia.
You walk out and you're like, "Ooh, actually, that really hurts,"
and you just fucking fail miserably. And they're like, "Why?" Like you're just supposed to sit in the chair. Like, why do you have 3 hernias? Because I was told that if I just
watched
clenched
Black Bag
really hard, I could just lie with no consequences. And the consequences are hernias. What happened?
There are consequences. God damn it.
Imagine that storyline. They should have done that.
Oh my god. People, if anyone's new to this podcast, we don't apologize. This is how random we normally are. So welcome. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. TL, it's the Easter weekend. Are you excited? What are you doing for Easter? Other than clenching your bum hole?
Yeah.
I'd actually totally forgot about that scene until you mentioned it just before we started, by the way. So that's the best way we're going to start this podcast.
My favorite scene. Are you kidding me?
That's just because you think she's hot.
Yeah, exactly. You know exactly what I was thinking about.
I know you.
When she said those words. So I'm going to Morocco.
You going away again?
Marrakesh. How do you say it? Marrakesh?
Marrakesh.
I'm going to Marrakesh.
Very nice. Well, who are you going with?
My wife. For
just
5
the two
days.
of you? That's fun.
Just over it. We have because you have the Friday and the Monday, so it's like a 4-day weekend.
You staying longer?
Well, apparently we couldn't find a flight that was like not exorbitantly expensive on the Monday, so I'm just gonna work from Marrakesh on the Tuesday.
Must be nice. That's epic. I know nothing about Marrakesh. What do you know about Marrakesh?
Camels, desert, nice fabrics.
I mean, all reasons.
I didn't do much research, to be honest. I have not had time. But it looks really nice. They've got good food, I've heard. There's a lot of, there's like these little hotels that are kind of like hostels, but they're just like 4-room hotels. It's got crazy markets, Marrakesh markets.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to see those. It would make me feel very Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I think this might be my first time going to Africa. I really should have thought about this more.
Really?
Yeah.
I've actually never been. I've been to a lot of places, but Africa has never actually been
returning to the homeland
on my list so far. There you go. That's epic.
You're gonna let me get away with that?
If you see a man swinging a sword around, make sure you take out your gun and just shoot him. It's easier.
That's definitely racist. I'm sorry.
God. That's cool, man. How long are you there for? 4 nights?
Yeah, we're there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 5 nights. Yeah. Sorry, no, 4 nights. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah. What am I saying?
You moved to London and you spend no time in London.
Dude,
What's
know.
happening?
It's just because my wife has too much time on her hands. So anytime there's like a 3-day weekend, she's like booked something. And I'm like, in the moment, I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. Then I realize like it's 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I haven't been home in
I need to sleep.
in a century.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, we have a 3 a.m. train ride to this Luton Airport for our 6 a.m. flight to Marrakesh. I'm like,
Look, come on, it's Luton.
I'm like,
don't.
No, I'm like, surely it's Marrakesh. And she's like, no, it's Marrakesh. You're going to Marrakesh. And I'm like, I am. And she's like, yes, your bag's packed.
Friend of the show, Carl, would love all of your pronunciations within that one sentence. It was fabulous. Keep it up.
I don't think he would know how to spell Luton, let alone pronounce it.
Don't isolate our British listeners. There are at least one of them. Don't do that. Help them.
This is the only airport I haven't been to. So actually, no, that's not true. I haven't been to the London Central one, which is like the most convenient. So somehow I haven't been there, of course.
Yeah, you've been avoiding the one you actually want to go to.
Yeah. What should we talk about, dude?
Well, I mean, I'll thank you for asking. I'm great. I appreciate you asking, as always.
That's what I was asking. What are we talking about?
It's we don't have anything planned for this weekend. It's fabulous. We're actually going to Japan in a couple of weeks, and we're both a bit like, we should probably just save that money and just go buck wild in Japan, buy all the sushi. So I did a thing. Yeah, you know my partner. She's obsessed with sushi, like obsessed.
So is Gail.
Like, we'll eat it.
Yeah,
breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I said to her, and like, you know that thing people do before weddings, where they're like, let's not have sex for like a month before the wedding. I said to her, I was like, why don't we not eat sushi or sashimi or anything Japanese for a whole month? And on like this week, she's been really antsy. You know, she really wants sushi, and she's like, oh, maybe we could. And she's like saying like random pieces of sushi, like, oh, I'd really like a rainbow roll. I'm like, you've never eaten a fucking rainbow roll in your whole life. You just really want sushi. So we're a week, well, two and a bit weeks now into this challenge, shall we call it? I think she's struggling. I actually nearly gave in by accident yesterday. I was in the office. One of our Canberra team members was down. He was like, well, let's go get lunch, blah, blah, blah. And the easiest thing to get that isn't Guzmani Gomez here in our office block is literally sushi. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, sushi's downstairs. And we walked down and I was like, ah, shit. Kat would murder me if she did the whole month. I was like,
well, you didn't have to tell her.
I went and did it.
Yeah.
That's true. Oh, man. Bending the truth. The best way to be in a relationship. Hey, man, like we've done all this here. How do you lie? Clench your butthole. How do you stay in a relationship? Lie. Just clench your butthole your whole relationship.
You're just clenching and eating sushi. It's a good life. Good life. There's worse things you could do, I should say.
Guys, if you want to hear us chatting about clenching our buttholes, please feel free to stick around. We would love it if you did, but there will be time codes in the description, as always, supplied by editing master, Mr. Matthew Bliss of mbpod.com. While you're down there, if you're listening to this on YouTube, which will eventually go on YouTube, please give us a nice comment and a thumbs up. Or if you're in a podcast capture, give us that 5 stars. It's right there. You can do it in app. If you want to pass the pod on to someone new, they can give us 5 stars too. I know, DL, you've passed it on to at least 5 people this week you've taken all of their phones and given 5 stars to the podcast, right?
Yes. Every time on the tube. You know.
Oh, so you're still doing it on the tube? You're still just getting random people's phones?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a big crime problem down there. You don't want people to think that you're stealing.
No, I definitely have to tell them before.
How do you approach them? Do you go to them and sort of say, "Excuse me, sir," or "Madam," or "You there"?
Okay, I'm coming clean. I don't do this. I don't do it. Jesus Christ.
I just need to know these things. I like details. But guys, if you pass it on to a friend, that's how we get new listeners. We love new listeners, and we love growing the podcast. DL, what media have you been covertly watching while the enemy thinks you're sleeping?
We've watched Adolescence. I had to process that one. We've watched Adolescence 1 through 3.
Tell me about it. I haven't seen any of it. It seems like something you need to be really in the mood for. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you need to be.
It's not like a quick.
Not an adolescent. That's weird.
No, you definitely need.
I'm not going to say in an adolescent mood. The normal mood
for an adolescent.
P. Diddy.
You fucking
Jeffrey Epstein.
Weird.
What's happening on this podcast?
No, you just need to like have a bit of time. I think they are big episodes, and it's not like something you want to like stop and start kind of thing. It's like once it's because it's
really
all
in the zeitgeist right now.
Well, it's one take every fucking episode.
Yeah,
the whole episode
all
is
the way
one take.
It's like a technical marvel.
It is actually extremely impressive, and you don't realize it sometimes. Sometimes you do, but in these like the first 2 episodes, I definitely did because they're going in and out of things, and it's like a lot more like, oh, this would be multiple cuts, you know. But this last episode basically took place in a room, and so in those
It's
settings,
the interrogation episode.
yeah, in those settings, it's like interesting because it's like, damn, like they just like monologued basically for fucking an hour. Like, you know, because it's just two of them. Yeah, like that's impressive, and it doesn't take you out.
And not flubbing a single line.
There is one where I was like, he messed up, but it felt natural enough that they let it go, like clearly, because he was emotional.
Okay.
But yeah,
I mean, it's got a 99% of Rotten Tomatoes. Like, it must be freaking epic.
I mean, I don't think it deserves that yet, but I'm only halfway through, I think. How many episodes are there?
Yeah, fair enough. 4, I think.
Oh, wow. Then I'm almost done.
Yeah, it's short. It's like super limited series.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not an option on Netflix. When you want to watch a super limited series? No, it's just a limited series.
I'm actually okay with that.
I think it's 4. Well, would you recommend it? Would you say go and watch it? It's intense though, right?
I mean, it's not like a happy story, no. It's not like fucking Care Bears with rainbows shooting out of their tummy. Like it's a bit doom and gloom. It definitely makes me think, I probably won't. Like I already thought this. I don't know how I'm going to pull it off, but I definitely won't have social media for my kids. Like I don't even think they're getting a smartphone until like earliest high school. Probably not. They're going to be losing.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
It's going to be hard. I would like to think the same thing. I don't know how you would get around that though with kids nowadays getting phones and stuff so young.
You just tell them.
You could probably get away with having
rocks.
like a family, not family laptop, like a family iPad or something that they can use. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fine.
On YouTube and stuff.
But I don't really want them on Instagram and shit that young. Anyway.
No, God no. Andrew Tate's not the best influence. Let's be honest. Do you recommend?
Yeah, I do. How about you? What have you been
Nice.
tuning into?
Well, speaking of, it's on Netflix, right?
It is on Netflix. Adolescence. The main actor is that guy that's, what's his name?
Oh, Stephen Graham. Phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
Love him.
Well, he's like the main, I should say.
So many things.
He's the main thumbnail, but he's fucking barely been in it. Yeah, so I think it's false advertising so far. It's very Godzilla with Bryan Cranston, where he's like, the entire trailer.
Yeah, right.
And then he doesn't he like die in like scene 4?
Die immediately.
Like,
yeah. Spoilers for Godzilla from 2006.
I was just like, wait. This is the A24 level of fuckery. Like
bait and switch, bitch.
Yeah, for sure.
It's actually Aaron Taylor's Johnson. That was the main character in that film.
Which I like. His Johnson.
Yeah, he's all right. Speaking
his
of Netflix,
Johnson.
Though, we watched a thing recently called 0 Day, which I actually did very much enjoy.
You liked that?
Robert De Niro. I did enjoy it. I thought I liked the intrigue of it. There's a lot of political thrillers out at the minute, and I thought this is one of the better ones.
I got to 20 minutes, and I was like really hungover from a bachelor party, so it might
That's your problem.
It might have distorted my opinion.
Grow up, be a 30-plus-year-old adult, deal with it for a full day, and then go back and watch Friends or How I Met Your Mother all day, then go back to watching real things.
I think I'm just off De Niro, dude.
Yeah, actually, I'm a little bit.
Am I off him? Are we off him?
He's not my favorite person in it.
He's just kind of plays the same thing a lot, I think, now.
Yeah, well, Jesse Plemons is in it too, who's amazing. For anyone who hasn't seen 0 Day, it is, like I say, a political thriller focused on former US president who is brought in to do an undoable job when all of the US loses power, signal, everything for 1 minute. And it's the fallout of that, the repercussions, all the things that happens. And it's full of, like red herrings, backstabbing, people not being who you think they are, and weird weapons that use sonar or something to make you think you've got dementia. It's different.
There's a lot of that going on. It's making me think that there's some kind of weapon out there that can do that, and that is frightening.
They're prepping us. They're prepping us.
That's the second Netflix show that's brought that shit
into
up,
media, so you think that so you're like, oh yeah, that could be real, and it's definitely gonna be real.
I don't want that.
I don't fucking want that.
I don't want that at all. Go back to Australia if that shit's happening.
Come back immediately. We want you. I want to hold you.
For sure, dude. That's my escape hatch. If anything fucking goes wrong, get a boat and be like, we got to figure out a way to get back to Australia, mate.
We're going to make it. Just escape them tariffs, DL. I recommend. Don't know why I was going to sing to you then.
Yeah, my mangoes are suddenly very expensive.
Clench your anus and get down here immediately.
Fucking asshole.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It sagged a bit in the middle, but everyone who was in it was really good. De Niro surprisingly all right in it. He's just an older dude now. Like I don't even know why he's doing this shit. He clearly doesn't need to. Maybe he's got like 25 kids, right? So he's got to support them all. He needs that payday.
Yeah. What was so saggy about it in the middle? Title your sex. Sorry.
I've been trying to get a partner into Brooklyn Nine-Nine recently because she's like, I don't like it. I won't watch it. Like
nobody doesn't like Brooklyn
right.
Nine-Nine. I've literally never met anyone.
100%. Yeah. You need a background show to just chuck on for 20 minutes before you go to bed or whatever. That's like we can't keep watching Friends over and over again. I'm sick of that show now. And I like just give it a couple of episodes. And then I was like, do you know the one where they do the dentist? Have you seen that one? You've definitely seen it if you've seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's like the best episode, the highest rated one.
I don't remember. I've only seen it all once.
Okay. There's one of the best episodes in like season 5, and they arrest a dentist they believe he's killed his partner, but it's prematurely, so they've got 48 hours to like get him to crack and confess. And it's all the stuff Jake's doing weirdly. It's so good. It's one of the best episodes, and I got her to watch that one. She was like, "Oh, I get it." I was like, "Yeah, you get it. It's bloody great." How do we get on to Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Go and watch 0 Day. It's fun. It's good. Sags in the middle like my sex tape. What else you been up to?
I'm trying to think what else I've been listening to Iron Gold.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm actually listening to it too.
Audiobook. Yeah, dude, it's just like I just have no time to write, and so I'm like, I need to get my creative fix in, so I have to be like listening to things. That like helps me feel like I'm progressing as a writer because I can like listen to the things I like, take notes and shit. And it's really frustrating, honestly. But this is I really enjoy it. He's just such a stud, dude. I think the next one I'm gonna listen to or read, because Ari's just been telling me to freaking do it for years, is Wheel of Time.
Oh man, it's just too big for me. It's too many. It's too much. You're gonna sink so many hours into that.
I'm not afraid of that.
I'm no coward. Fuck you.
Yeah. Who do you think?
I've been hearing a lot about this Hyperion book recently. Have you heard of it?
I think you've talked about it.
No, I don't. It's kind of new. Like it's something I've only picked up in the last couple of weeks. But like every time I look it up, it's so highly rated. Everybody seems to love it. So I'm like, I gotta get on this. So maybe that's gonna be my next book after the current Red Rising crop.
Well, but Wheel of Time is like apparently one of the best fantasy series ever written.
Yeah, it was also finished by Brandon Sanderson.
I know, which is partially why I haven't.
I bet it is.
But apparently he nails the landing. But it's from from known Sanderson fanboys. So believe it or not,
friend of the show Kyle.
He is one of them. Yes.
He is like a full fanboy. He's like he's got little pom poms.
I mean, so dude, all my friends. To be fair, all my friends love him. Although one of my you met him, Will. He was like, "Man, I'm so fucking bored. Like, I just keep trying to read this Sanderson book, and I just can't do it." I'm like, "Yeah, he's too Mormon, bro. He's too Mormon.
Saying
everything about his writing is too
interesting."
Mormon." And so I sent him Will the Many, and he's like, "I think he's rocking that."
It's a good book. Well, they've announced the date. The Strength of the Fuse coming out, right? It's coming out in November. That's exciting.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm not going to like it. I'm worried.
I've already pre-ordered it. I got the special edition on pre-order.
No, for sure I'll do that, but I just anticipate that it's going to get a bit
it's going to get a bit weird. I don't know. It's going to get wild. Saying that though, I'm in a similar spot with writing. I'm just so busy with work at the minute, the same as you, just like everything's happening all at once constantly. I had to take a step back, and I've sort of rewritten my outline for my chapters and how I'm sort of going to flow the book. Because I don't know about you, but I got to a bit of a mental block where I was writing chapter 2 because I think I've got a pretty solid chapter 1 for like at least a starting point. But like I was writing chapter 2 and I'm like, I'm missing something. There's something that's not here that's really stopping me moving forward. So I rewrote the outline. I'm going to insert like a prologue and a chapter after the chapter 1 to just fill in a few of the gaps that I was going to sort of just use dialogue to fill in effectively. And I'm like, I feel more comfortable now. I feel like I'm in a better place to start writing because I know how George R.R. feels now. I was banging my head against the wall. I was like, I don't like, why am I writing this? This doesn't fit and I'm missing something and it feels a bit like clunky. I don't know if you've ever had that feeling.
Yeah, of course, dude. Oh, I don't know. I just find like I'm writing things. The biggest thing is it always feels better in your head, and then as soon as you get like part of it down, you just feel like, oh, it's not what I thought it was. Or it's like you get something really great, and you're like, well, now I don't want to
Right.
fuck with it.
Even though sometimes you have to.
And no matter what, I'm gonna have to fuck with it because I don't know 90% of what's coming. So like, no matter what happens, I'm gonna have to change this. So yeah, that's what I kind of get into. Or I get like trapped in trying to build this world instead of like just trying to find the characters. So it's like, and if you only have an hour, you know, 2 hours a week, it's like you're not really making fast progress.
I was watching one of those Brandon Sanderson, all listening to it in the gym, one of the lectures he does, and one of the questions he got was around how does he, get headspace, and there was a really interesting thing about him saying to his wife, like he writes best over like 4 to 6 hour like blocks. I mean, obviously he does it for a professional.
I listen to this too.
Yeah, and he's sort of saying, I really like the first 1 or 2 hours are more about reminding myself of the story, getting myself going, getting the cogs flowing, getting the juices going. And then after that is when he really writes. But I'm like, when am I ever going to have time to sit down for 6 hours?
6 hours.
And not be interrupted.
Literally, it's like Sunday, but I'm in Marrakesh.
Yeah, exactly.
Marrakesh. I'm in Arrakis.
I'm in Arrakis.
That's where I'm going, dude.
Paul Atreides is going to come down on you with his fucking.
All right, we have like had a mad tangent here. What else?
What would you obviously recommend Iron Gold? I've actually started it as well. I am.
It's really fun.
Probably about a fifth of the way in. I've no, maybe not even that far. No, about 10.
What do you know all the POVs
about 10
yet?
chapters in, done all the POVs once. I'm interested, but I am getting a bit of feverish when I'm not listening to Darrow. I've had to skip to the audiobook because I don't have time to read it at the moment. I just don't have the brain space. So
Lyria is a bit tough, to be honest.
Well, that's the most interesting story, I think. Like in terms of the plot, she has the most interesting POV.
Well, it's definitely the most like different and like counter. It's like the most artistically
100%.
Bold.
Yeah, he's flipped it 180 degrees. It's basically Darrow when he was in the mines. It's so interesting.
Dude, my favorite is like by far the
Lysander.
Yeah.
I thought you'd like that one,
and you'll get there.
No,
I think
I like it. I like the dynamic with Cassius. I think it's interesting. I just haven't got far enough in to really explore it yet. He's also just a horny teenager, which opens up so many doors. But yeah, like
I think it's just because Cassius is in it. I like.
Yeah,
it.
okay. I've seen a lot of people online who've sort of said the start of it's really hard to get through, and then it sort of opens up and becomes better. So I just need to keep plugging, I think.
Yeah.
Is that how you feel about it?
I mean, I'm like fully in on it now, but like there is definitely like the first 2/5.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's
nearly half.
Fraction.
I know numbers.
First 2/5, because like also the first 2/5 you're like Darrow, like with Darrow, dude. And you're just like, what are you doing, dude?
It is a slow start to his plot. Like I just did the Senate scene where he gets like torn to pieces by Dancer. And it's a bit like, I feel like you could have done more there.
You'll see. Keep reading.
Yeah, I will.
Anyway, yes, I do recommend.
Yeah, cool. Final one from me then. It's time. I got to talk about Slow Horses, man. You've asked me about it a bunch of times. I've deflected a bunch of times. We've now burned through 4 seasons of it. And I mean burned through to the point where I'm sad that I don't have more Slow Horses to watch. I would say for me, this, again, we've talked about Apple TV being, kind of like a must at the moment. There's some absolute fire on Apple TV. This is must watch TV. 100%. It's probably
I've heard that.
My favorite show on TV, which I've watched in a long time in terms of just consistency. And, I am excited, genuinely excited to watch every single episode. So thanks to friend of the show, Chris, for recommending this. Awesome recommendation, mate. So good. It's interesting because when we often talk about Mount Rushmore TV shows, I don't know if this is a Mount Rushmore TV show in terms of it doesn't have that like wow factor, but that's kind of why I like it because it's low key. So for anyone who doesn't know Slow Horses, it's actually a pretty good segue into what we're talking about today. It's sort of like spy thriller, all about MI6 in the UK. The idea is that MI6 is this big agency, and there is a smaller agency run out of another building which has people who fucked up or made a mistake in the field or done something stupid. Not enough to get fired, but they basically get pushed out to be a slow horse. And it's this confluence of everything happening and them being in the wrong place at the right time, and they always end up being the ones who actually solve the case, and it's fabulous. It's Gary Oldman who is at his absolute best in this. I know he's won Oscars. I know he's been in great films. You know, pick a role, Batman. You know what I mean? Pick one, whatever you want. Like, he's amazing. This is his absolute masterpiece. He is this older spy who runs this little side agency. He drinks and he farts and he swears and he sweats his way through these episodes, but he's always somehow the smartest man in the room. It's basically him camouflaging himself, and it's so good. He's just whip smart. Everyone in it's, you know, top of their games. There are threads that are left in the first season that don't come back around that I'm still hoping come back in later seasons. This is just what TV is meant to be, man. It is so good. It's short as well. It's like 8 episodes a season, 40 minutes, and I was just I was enthralled by all of it. It was awesome.
It's on my saved Apple TV stuff
get that
forever. Yeah, I mean, if only there wasn't some
you spent time watching Adolescence, you could have watched 4 episodes of this.
I'm down, but like, dude, I can't sell a spy thriller to the missus. I can only sell a child murder.
You are a weird salesman.
What does that say about her or me? Probably more
little
her.
column A, little column B.
I'm just selling what she's buying, you know.
I think you should watch an episode. I think she really like it. So, like, the actual POV character is quite a cool, young, sexy dude. River something. I can't remember his last name. The guy who plays him is really good as well. He's like, so his whole deal is that his grandfather was like high in MI6, as in like the highest you can get. He wants to live up to his legacy, but in his first like day at MI6, all this stuff happens and he gets pushed to be a slow horse. So he thinks he's above this the whole time, while at the same and constantly trying to get to do other cases and stuff. But also has to be taken down a peg by this awesome, fabulous main character who's Gary Oldman. And it's really good. It's a really good POV character. There's lots to like chew on with him, and everyone in it is phenomenal. It's got the High Sparrow from Game of Thrones in it. He's really good in it as his aging grandfather. There's a bunch of people who'd be like, oh, I know that person. Where do I know them from? But a bunch of people who you would just be like, I have no idea who this is, but they're an excellent actor and they're having a really great time in this. So if you get a chance and you can, you know, get a no veto or something, I would 100% get us to watch the first episode.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore. We should. Okay, sweet.
You don't do no veto anymore. What are you talking about?
We need to get that back. I agree. I feel like I lose when we don't have no veto.
If you can't guess, I highly recommend Slow Horses. Everyone should go away and check it out, and thank friend of the show, Chris, for recommending it. Guys, is there anything we haven't talked about that we should be talking about? Anything you'd recommend? Hit us up. You can find us at Podcast Assemble on Instagram, or shoot us a Gmail to thepodcastassemble@gmail.com. Don't forget the. Send us memes, send us news, send us reviews. We went through a phase where people were sending us memes for a while, and it was glorious. DL, do you want to preface our main topic this week?
It's the main topic theme.
So this week, we are talking about The Black Bag.
It's directed by Steven Soderbergh, who is absolutely one of my favorite directors with a fabulous writing
stuff.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's got a cinematic style that I really vibe with, and this really leans into that. We're going to be doing a bit of... Do we do non-spoilers and spoilers, or just do the whole spoilers? What do you think?
I don't even know if I could spoil this if you wanted me to.
There's one big twist at the end.
Finding Magic Mike, you know, that's he's known for Traffic. He's known for Sex, Lies, and Videotape, which I haven't seen. And Aaron Brockovich, which, again, I haven't seen, but I've heard great things.
Good movie. Solid movies all around. Do you have a stupid plot summary for Black Bag?
Yeah, it's Mr. and Mrs. Smith meets the Glass Onion. I don't know. It's more like Mr. and Mrs. Smith meets like Smith. It's like, because it's like tone is like oddly like dark until like the very end.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, it's a bit darker, but it's like, yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Smith meets like, I don't know, girl with a dragon tattoo or something weird.
I wasn't like, this isn't actually my stupid plot summary, but I did have in my notes that it's a smart, cerebral, and actually serious Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So very similar vibes. But my stupid plot summary is very simply a cinematic portrayal of if Guess Who had an ensemble cast. Do you have Guess Who in the US, right? Or is it just called Guess, where you flick the people down?
No, it's Guess Who.
You say, is it a female? And then the person goes, did you just assume their identity or their gender? And you go, oh my God.
You go, we can't play this anymore.
This is a fabulous cast, by the way. I love everyone in this. Michael Fassbender is George. I don't know why I've got... There's a Skarsgård in this for some reason, who I don't know who it was. Kate Blanchett's in this as Kathryn. Tom Burke as Freddie Smalls. Marissa Abela as Clarissa. We've got Renee Jane Page as James Stokes. Naomi Harris in this. Pierce Brosnan's in this. What a cast, man. Like,
good cast.
Tight cast. Yeah. There's people outside of that, but they've got minimal roles. And I think they've done a lot with what they have, if that makes sense. And the real question is then, can you summarize this movie for our beautiful listeners? What happened? What are we doing here?
We're following some kind of MI6 style. To be fair, did they actually call it MI6? I don't know if they did.
I think they call it the National Cyber Security Center.
Yeah, they're all like kind of hackers. Yeah, they're like the hacker division of the old British intelligence.
Yes.
And yeah, we follow it in the I guess the preamble scene is that there's a mole, and it's a mole hunt. And we're trying to figure out who would have leaked this thing called Kerfluffin. Yeah, this thing called something Severance or something. What's it called?
I don't know.
It's called something with like an S.
It's not even a software. It's like
malware. No, it is. It's like malware for like a nuclear reactor, essentially. Right. But it's all on this USB stick.
I don't know how that works. That didn't jive with me. Go on.
Anyway, they somebody's like stolen it or leaked it or done something with it.
Yeah.
And there's only 5 people that could have known about it and had the motive. And our main character, Michael Fassbender, also known as
Jorge.
Or George Woodhouse.
George, the most boring name of all time.
Yeah, seriously.
But I like that for that character.
I guess, yeah, sure. He is tasked with like finding who the fuck could be, and he's like, by the way, one's your wife. Which, like, clearly in government, let's just be honest, segregation of duties would instantly disqualify him from being the guy that is allowed to fucking look so let's just like rip this movie premise up at the start.
Well, I think it's meant to be, off the books. He's going, like undercover almost to try and find out who did this. And it's this fabulous, like, I don't know, exploration of how do you have a relationship when you literally can't tell each other anything. It's super interesting.
They're both like spies, and so he's investigating her while she's doing her spy work, and so he has to do some shady stuff.
They'd be spying on each other.
They'd be spying on each other. Then he gets caught in like a web of lies where it almost looks like he was essentially like
he was played, baby girl.
Played to basically look like so that it was off the record in that way because like no one's told him officially to do this, and now it's like, oh, maybe I just fell into a trap of someone because I'm now implicated in something because I was doing what I was told to do.
Lies. Yeah, it's super well done. I really like how this gets set up and it's written phenomenally. It is also fascinating. That's a word. POV into spycraft, like
spycraft.
How do
into dysfunctional relationships?
Yeah. How do you trust the people you like? How do you trust anyone? Like, you can't trust Dave from accounts, let alone your wife. How do you talk to people? It would be so hard. It's super interesting. I like the setup of it.
It would be really hard, especially if both of you did it.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
I just don't think
the title
that
Black Bag
happens.
comes from when, in this, effectively, when they're going on a mission or when George or Kathryn go, I don't know, to do whatever, and they can't talk about their current posting. They just say Black Bag and it's immediately off the table. It's a bit like no veto for movies.
Yeah, it is. It's Black Bag.
Black Bag, baby.
Black Bag.
That's like you talking about clenching your butthole whenever Gail's around. Black Bag.
No, we talk about that. that's open.
Not clenching between the two of you. It's a phenomenal cast though, dude. Like, everyone in this really brings that A game. I thought everyone was fabulous. The only thing I would say is I thought what's his name, Renee Jane Page, who was just the same character he was in Dungeons and Dragons, just with a suit rather than a suit of armor. You know,
I feel like that's just him as an actor.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's any good. He's clearly good looking. I don't know if he's any
stoic.
good.
Yeah, good question. But Fassbender's really good in this. He's got this like really interesting character arc where he is this cold, calculating sort of, you know, almost robot of a human being, but he's also like a huge paradox. Little things he does, like he says he hates liars, and then he goes and, you know, is involved in blackmail and tricks his wife into taking his badge into work and all this stuff. So like he's basically the polar opposite of James Bond. He's like everything Bond isn't.
I think I figured out his moral code by the end, but yeah, it is like a walking like contradiction at first.
It is a roller coaster with his moral code.
But I do think there's a through line that we could talk about. But he is just like an interesting, like, it's just kind of like a weird dude. He's got these little idiosyncrasies. Like he's
definitely got some sort of autism.
Plays that weird. Yeah, I think he's like meant to be playing it that way.
Yeah, 100%. And that's a very Michael Fassbender trait at this point. I feel like he's pigeonholed himself into that. Yeah.
You kidding? Yeah, dude.
There's something about him. He's got that look.
Yeah. Everybody else in the show though is like really, they're just fun. I think it's just like they all play characters that are all unique. They're like,
I do like that about it. Yeah, they're all 2-dimensional at least. Yeah, 3-dimensional, not 2-dimensional. Those words.
They all feel very different from each other. Like in a place where it could be like everybody's a bunch of spies. They all feel clearly like different.
They're well-written characters, absolutely. And each one, like, I even really like the Doctor. I thought the Doctor, who is played by Naomi Harris, she's great, by the way. We're going to talk about where all these people come from in a minute. They've all got their own quirks. They've all got like their purposes for doing different things in the plot. But I think one of the things that I found most interesting was that like the low key like bureaucracy of it all was super compelling because it's a spy agency and because, you know, like you've got to be on point all the time. Like one dude can make the tiniest mistake and the next day he's like promoted and he ends up in like the Bahamas, so somewhere he can't do any damage to the agency. And it's like it's a really interesting. It's like the small things on in the movie.
He didn't even make a mistake. He actually did the right thing.
He got fucked up. He got
fucked over. He like reported something. They're like, oh, we just can't have this getting out. Just promote him and put him in the bomb.
Right. But like it's that low key bureaucracy of it all. Like everyone's in it for themselves. Everyone's watching their own back while trying to stab your own. It's super interesting. And the stakes are kind of. The stakes of the film, I find a bit almost like a juxtaposition to that. Like, you know, like they are such high stakes. If this weapon gets out, it could melt down a nuclear reactor in Russia or some shit. I'm like,
yeah,
I get it. It's a spy thriller. You need it to be heightened, but it kind of at odds with the small low key cast and, you know, like the real focus of the film.
It makes you wonder, like, where. Like, are spies actually just politicians, but like behind the scenes politicians,
probably.
Essentially? Like they just don't have to be elected. They're bureaucrats that like
middle managers,
popularity contests within their little realm. Essentially,
isn't that just any company?
I don't know. Like spies have like less clear KPIs. I think.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
It's very untransparent. Yeah, it's
not
like
this many bombs.
Yeah.
I tell you what worked in this for me. It's a real side note here, but like it was really stylish. Like the fashion in it was on point. The music was phenomenal. It just had a vibe. And I remember sitting there with the partner, and she actually came to cinema to watch with me. I sold her in on the trailer, and everything about it just dripped. It just oozed style, like all of it, and even like the soundtrack was phenomenal. Like I say, it was really, really beautifully put together.
Yeah, no, it was. I didn't really notice the soundtrack, but I just like never felt bored.
Yeah, definitely. There was a good sense of urgency about it. The pacing was on point. It was a slow burn, but at the same time, like you felt it was moving and progressing, and all the characters were sort of having great arcs. I really liked that.
The way they like did those dinner scenes, like juxtaposed, was like very well written.
I felt like almost like, I don't know, like Midsummer Murders. Get everyone together and, you know, like say who the killer is at the end. I kind of really liked
his
it.
Hand. So fucking
Oh
crazy.
my god,
He was.
she's
That was the
nuts.
most dysfunctional. Well, so is he though.
True.
They're
Also
both.
true.
They're made for each other.
Oh,
They're both
100%.
fucking crazy. He was just like the shit he said. I was like, man, how would you ever come back from that? It's over.
He
And
did.
then the next day, they're just in the office. I mean, I guess there's some crazy sex or something. They're probably just wild.
But they can't do it with anyone else. So, but
Yeah,
speaking
exactly.
of, all of those
Yeah.
guys, all those actors in those scenes are phenomenal, and they're all like, I wouldn't say those guys because they're kind of more like they're all pretty like well known. I'd say at this point, like
big
so,
in Britain as well.
yeah.
A
So
lot of
Tom
them,
Burke,
yeah.
who plays Freddie Smalls, he is from Furiosa. I think we did that on the podcast. Marissa Abella, she is in Industry, like I talked about. It's bringing back my famous segment of a show that I vaguely watched in the background while my partner was watching it. I talked about Rene Jean Page. He's Dungeons and Dragons. Naomi Harris is from the Daniel Craig Bond movies, and obviously, like Pierce Brown, Mamma Mia fame. Pierce Brosnan.
Very good
That's
looking.
not a name.
Would you say is Pierce Brosnan is Mamma Mia fame, or would you say he's Bond?
Of course, he's
James
Bond.
Bond.
I've just been fucking stupid.
It's like, well,
Two
dude,
Bond alumni
if you
in
ask
this.
some women,
He's aging like a fine wine, man. He is a
Very good looking,
beautiful
yeah.
man.
yeah, some people got it.
He got it. That silver hair
Some people
really
got
suits him.
it.
One thing that did really take me out of this, and you tell me about your thoughts on this. I am not the biggest Cate Blanchett fan. She's fine. She's very good when she's a weird elf in the woods. Other than that, I don't find her that
Just
compelling.
like, what else is she in other than that?
A bunch of stuff.
Like, I
But
know
the
she
thing-
is, but like, I don't know any of it.
Yeah,
Like, it's like
I avoid it. I don't like
the
it.
Curious Case of Benjamin Button. I guess, sure.
Yeah, it's all right.
Well,
She's clearly had something done, and look, I'm very pro. You do what you need to do to be happy, but whatever she put in her lips made her look like a cat the whole movie, and I couldn't stop staring at her lips. And every time she was on screen, it took me out of it. I was like, dude, you were fine. Why have you done this to yourself?
I think the lips are the weirdest one to do because
Tell me about it.
They look the fakest, and no one was looking at them.
It's right, but it's like right in the middle of your face.
Well, I just mean like no one like actually was like, oh, what's up with her lips? They're looking deflated. No one said that ever.
There are no lips on you today. Is your lipstick
it's not like
actually on your
Yeah,
face?
it's not like you're like your tits to get saggier. I get it. You're like, this used to be young and vital. Like,
Mine are pretty saggy.
I understand. I empathize. I can rationalize that. The lips, I just don't. Yeah, I don't get it. But anyway.
I'm 100% with you, dude. I've said this a million times. I'm all for cosmetic, whatever you need to do to make yourself feel happy, but don't make it that fucking. Don't make yourself look like a cat. I tell you, I say this all the time. As soon as my hair starts to go, I'll do the hair transplant that everyone's doing. I'll be on the first plane to Hungary or Turkey or wherever. But
Turkey, yeah, Turkey.
But like, you got to do it subtly, man. You can't just have you can't one day have zero lips and the next day rock.
What if you're bald? There's no subtle way to do the hair transplant.
Wow, I mean, some bald people can just pull it off. Look at Jason Statham. Just
That's
run
true.
with what you got.
You get my point.
Yeah, I think one of the main things that really carries this movie is the dynamic of the sort of key cast who you start and sort of end with at the dining table. Your Tom Burke's, your Marissa Abella's, your Renee Jean Page, Naomi Harris's, Michael Fassbender, and Cate Blanchett's. Them or even if you just go back to that original four who aren't necessarily the core two characters, they're sort of plotting and scheming and being involved in schemes and how they're used and how they sort of escalate things to management, let's say, really drives this film, and I really like that about it. Great
What do you think is Fassbender's moral code?
I think he will do whatever. Well, I mean, he says it in the movie, doesn't he? He will do whatever.
Well, there's that, but
the queen and country, king and country.
Yeah, I think it's just like simply like lies that are not for the job.
Yeah, basically,
like
pretty much.
If you're lying about something like to be like dishonest outside of the mission, which is either for queen and country or to protect your wife, for him, those are his two like things. Because he basically anytime anyone lies about something that like is like kind of like a moral, not like a like where it's like outside of that, he calls them out. outside of that
Yeah, that's
realm.
interesting. But technically, he's never actually on a mission. He's an off-the-books mission the whole time. So he's lying just to be a prick.
You get my point, though, when it's like
Yeah,
infidelity
absolutely.
or like
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah. That's that brings some really interesting scenes where they're all sitting around like the dinner table, and
Yeah.
you know Tom Burke's character is like, "What are you talking about? There's no other woman." I actually thought it was a little too like maybe edging onto spoilers here a little bit, but like when you find out about all the interpersonal relationships between those four characters,
It was a bit too much. Yeah.
there was minimal action in this. I thought. Was there any
Yeah.
action beats you wanted to call out?
No, there's like a Russian guy that like
Yeah,
his Jeep blew up.
that was it. I mean,
That was
the bit
pretty
where he
funny
had his
though. How
hand
she just like
stabbed.
rats him up. Yeah, that was like barely action though. We saw it
there's-
coming.
It
She was
didn't.
crazy.
It didn't need it really. I think it was. Look, long story short, I'm keen to talk spoilers as well. Super slick, well shot, cool, detached aesthetic. It was a pretty cool movie. Got any tones and themes?
Honestly, I don't think it had much.
Huh?
I think it was all style.
Trust.
I don't think it was like trying to like. Yeah, it was I guess trust and power dynamics.
Duality of personalities, I suppose.
Yeah,
Something like that. Yeah,
it wasn't like any like big existential. Theme,
it's
so it
not.
was
Yeah,
kind of-
you're not changing your mind about world politics because of this, but it's interesting.
Yeah, well, there's like something about relationships. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. There's a lot of like toxic versus that.
Oh yeah, actually, there's a lot of toxic relationship stuff in this. It's a good point.
Yeah. And I think just like if you're looking at a theme, like what is honesty? Like that's like what they're trying to investigate for sure.
Mm,
Like define it.
yeah.
Yeah, 3 best actors.
Yeah.
The plot was pretty good. I was like kind of sleepy because of the melatonin,
I had the
but
cast too. Yeah.
kept me on my toes. And Marissa Abella, or as we say, Clarissa Debut. She's a highlight. Can't wait to go watch Industry.
tight little sphincter.
You said it, not me.
I also had the cast. It was fabulous. The slow build of it. I think when you watch a good spy thriller espionage, like it didn't need big action. It was great because it revealed the stories you were going. It felt natural the way it built. And the aesthetic, it had like a je ne sais quoi. It was dripping in style, and it was fabulous. Really like that about it. Do you have any worst?
Yeah, I didn't. We can't talk about it. But
Okay.
there was one twist where I was like, that just threw. No, there's just like some of it was a bit overdone.
Mm.
There was
There were a
one
couple of
twist
bits,
in particular, but like it's minor gripe.
Yeah, okay.
Minor. Also, Kate Blanchett, like
Her lips.
something about the character she plays, she's just like a little bit too like, I can't really describe it.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. And she was a
Just
bit.
like,
She was a bit too. Not good's the wrong word. She was always 5 steps ahead of everyone, and I get it. That's kind of the job. But I was a bit like, really? Even when everyone else is supposed to be doing the same thing.
Yeah, but they were clearly the most functional of the rest. All those other ones were a bit
100%.
wild. To be honest, how did these
What does
guys
that say
get
about
in?
MI6?
Yeah, now that I think about it, I'm like, these are just guys at the pub. Like, who are these people?
You either need to be a sociopath or autistic to get into MI6.
Yeah,
That's
like
literally
what is
the pool.
going on here? I was somewhat shocked. Yeah.
Well, in a similar way to how you had like a gripe about Kate Blanchett, I did find Fassbender's character a little hard to believe at times, just because he was just so steadfast in his moral beliefs and then would just break them super easy. But I guess you sort of talked around that a minute ago. I think you're right. He probably anything for the job. He doesn't mind lying about. You know what I mean? Like he breaks his code in the line of duty almost
for his like North Stars. I think now that I have a little bit of a minute to think about it, they could like there was like a half an hour of this movie where you were like, is he actually going to have to like debate taking down his wife or not?
Yeah.
Like,
that would have been a really interesting thing to explore.
And I think they kind of revealed that card too fast. Like I at first I thought that was what this movie was going to be. Like, it's going to be like until halfway we figure it out what he's going to do. But like it was pretty quick where he's like, nope, I would do anything to protect you. Like it was like that's like they didn't need to say that line. It could have just shown it through his actions and
it makes it quite clear at the top of the movie, I suppose. But at the same time, it's a great. It should have been more grey. And
I thought it was grey up until after that. Yeah, I thought it was grey up until like right after he has his first fishing trip with the homie. Like that was like the peak of the gray, and then right after that, they're like, yeah, no.
Yeah, they demystified it pretty quickly after that. But that, I mean, like they sort of end up working together almost, as in like a husband-wife duo, which I didn't think was as interesting.
It's not that I didn't like it. They gave enough hints that they were going to do that I was like, oh, they're going to do that. And then I just kind of felt like, okay, I guess they're not. Like, I was like, are they going to follow? Like, I guess they could have followed that thread a bit longer, is all I'm saying. It's a minor gripe. I'm just looking.
It's minor. I just had Cate Blanchett's lips as well. They really pulled me out of this movie. Not great. Let's talk a little bit about the critical reception for this. Can you guess for me the current IMDb score?
I think I saw it. It's like 6.9.
It is 6.9. You can't have that. I won't give you props because you just read it. Can you guess for me the Rotten Tomato score? Hint. It is the same as last week's.
I don't remember last week's. 98?
96.
Yeah.
Really good Rotten Tomato score. Really solid. It's getting a lot of love, this film. It's a shame nobody fucking saw it. Can you guess for me the current Letterboxd score, which is always 3.6, but never 3.6?
3.8.
3.5. So,
wow.
People are pretty flat on this. I feel like it's getting pretty middling scores.
That's an L.
It is. And now what we do is we talk our rating system, which is very simply the internet's binary. So we talk about, is this better or worse than the most average thing we know, which is a movie called Aquaman 2018, and why? DL, is your sphincter tight enough for this?
It's so much better. Sorry, I actually should have said it's so much worse. I was trying to lie, but I said the truth.
You'd be the worst spy.
Yeah, well, my sphincter wasn't clenched enough. That's clearly what happened. I think
so. You were on a polygraph test. Yeah, I thought it was great too. Fabulous film, stylish. Everyone's good in it. Good movie. There's only a few things to spoil. Really, should we do spoilers?
Yeah, essentially, there's not like some big plan. There's like two incongruent plans that like confuse our old mate Fassbender for a bit.
Confused me.
But we've got like, I mean, I pretty much from the get-go was like, well, this is clearly a thing Brosnan from her boss. Yeah,
he's one step away from mustache twirling in this film. Like, if he's not,
yeah, this is like so, but it's like that's so clear that it's like, what else is happening?
Right? Who else is in this?
Yeah, and that's like basically what the film's about, is like trying to figure out, like trying to unravel who's doing what. And
yeah,
I guess
it turns out he's working with Renee Jean Page, who is of course again Dungeons and Dragons fame, but he's kind of like Michael Fassbender's protege almost in this, and I think they're both trying to find a way to move someone out of their way in the bureaucratic ladder to get their foot up onto the next run.
Yeah. I think if you think about the two storylines that I was trying to debate earlier, it's like there's that one, and then there's the other one where Freddie Smalls, through happenstance of, this is the part where I was like, you didn't need to do it that way. Where he's apparently cheating on his missus with the doctor, Zoe, whatever her name is, Zoe Vaughn.
Dr. Zoe Vaughn. You mean Naomi Harris?
And, yeah. In that session, somehow she tells him about Severance. Whatever this, we're calling it Severance.
MacGuffin.
Plug last week's episode. She tells him about it because the guy she'd been hooking up with was Francis whatever, and he got drunk once and told her what a great plan it was. She was so worried about its existence, she broke her doctor's psychologist protocol because she's a Catholic, apparently. So that was a bit loose as well.
Spy and a Catholic. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like, okay. And so our boy Freddie tries to actually, like, he's like, this is a big deal. We got to deal with this. He tries to basically stop it on his own by involving Cate Blanchett's character in a way like he like manipulated her to do something that then the other guy was able to use to implicate her as trying to buy so it was two different plans that kind of just fell into each other. Yeah,
it was a little convenient.
There is some convenience in all of it.
Yes. I mean, you suspend your disbelief a little bit, but when I was watching it, like, you could see it unfolding. Like, none of it didn't fall into place a way that wasn't unexpected. But I was a bit like,
it did. Yeah,
it would have been nice if they'd have. I don't know. It did, like, convenient is the word I would use for it.
It doesn't even need to be like, as like all these people are hooking up and that's how they all learn about it.
It doesn't need to be wrapped up in a bow.
They could have just like found it somehow.
They're in fucking espionage. They could have
could be that
used
clear,
their skills.
So yeah, that's the spoilers. And then they steal the £7 million, which was kind of weird at the end.
Yeah, left hanging, wasn't it? I guess the end of the movie from that bit then is that Kate Blanchett shoots Renee Jean Page in the head in their living room. It's like, all right, but like I quite like how that was building up,
and like the rugs change so they all know it's like fucking.
I really
real.
like that build up where there's like little
touch.
tells. They're like, why is the rug different? Like, and then there's the gun in the bag, and it's a nice. That's the bit I was talking about where it's like, guess who? Where they like almost going through each of the characters, dissecting them, and I think it's George's coldness really works in that scene because it's sort of. It takes everyone to not a similar way to how they did at the earlier dinner scene, but like it takes everyone to pieces and dissects them, and like you end up naturally coming to the conclusion of who it is, which is kind of cool. It's well done, well written.
No, it was fun, but it's also like crazy to just like grab the gun and be like, clearly, if they had the gun there, this guy's like kind of an idiot.
It's like, where's your evidence? Just like give me one shred of evidence, or
just walk out, or like definitely don't grab the gun that they placed there to clearly
bait you.
If they that's not there so they can die. That was a bit much, but it was a good. I like where she's like the line where she's like, I forgot to tell you the game. It's who grabs the gun.
Yeah,
I was like, but that was a singer.
You make a really good point there though. Like, what if he just walks out? What happens?
I mean, maybe they shoot him anyway, but yeah,
he's a spy who should probably be able to keep his emotions in check. So why does he just go buck shit wild and try and kill both of them?
That's what I'm saying. They have not recruited well this agency.
Not that guy. I don't think. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't ever that's a weird twist to his character. He doesn't ever show any of that anger or impatience throughout the rest of the film.
No, he's actually quite an asshole, to be honest.
Yeah. He is an asshole and very good at it and very good at being patient, clearly. So it's a bit of a weird twist for his character, but it was built to in a way that was, it didn't feel forced.
Yeah.
I also like the symmetry of the movie. I mean, it's not perfectly, but like the sort of movie effectively beginning and effectively ending with like a dinner scene. It was kind of nice. Yeah. It was kind of like a nice round trip to the movie. But yeah,
I enjoyed that too.
To say?
No, I don't, man. I think this was like a clean one. It was. I have my doubts on the recruitment memos for MI6
agencies. All right, let's wrap up with a bit of trivia, true or false. Do you want a bit of trivia, true or false, DL?
I do.
Trivia, true, trivia, false. Michael Fassbender spent up to 6 months with real spies, interviewing them, taking notes, and building his character. Is that true or is that false?
Seems a bit false.
It is false. I just made it up off the cuff. I know the writers.
6 months is a long time as well.
Well, the writers had spent a long time actually with real spies doing a very similar thing, but I don't think Michael Fassbender particularly went that far out of his way.
I mean, like that makes sense. Like understand, but like, we're going to just follow around a spy to back this character.
Yeah. Scriptwriter David Coep consulted real life spies, assets, agents, and operatives in order to write the spy movie. There you go. Trivia, true, trivia, false, DL. Lead actress Kate Blanchett agreed to star in the picture without even reading the script. Is that true? Is that false?
That is true.
It is true. She commented, I just said, who am I playing? She added that she quickly hopped on board as it was written by David Coep and Steven Soderbergh. Good for her. She knows what she wants.
Fair enough.
Isn't she a fucking Oscar-winning actress as well? If that's how much she wants to be in a movie, you take it.
Yeah, some trust there.
Yeah. All right, finally then. Trivia true, trivia false, deal. Actress Alicia Vikander, who's the wife of leading man Michael Fassbender, actually made the playlist used in the film. Is that true or is that false?
The whole playlist? False.
Actually true. She is given a special thanks in the credits as DJ Vicarious, which is... I don't know why that's interesting or important, but I to be trivial, ladies and gentlemen. It's utter fucking nonsense. Ultimately, I had a great time with this film. I had heard good things about it, and I'm really glad it lived up to its billing. The cast is great. The music, it's stylish, it's sexy. There's plenty of clenched bum holes, so I recommend going out and checking it out. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. Maybe not a $25 purchase on
Well,
Tommy's Amazon account, but
I mean, it's more expensive than that in cinemas, so maybe do either.
Yeah,
but support it. What I'm
guess.
saying is go and support it. We want to be supporting good cinema, and this is bloody good cinema. DL,
It
do you
is.
want to wrap up the show?
Sure. A big thank you to Matthew Bliss for editing and mastering this week's episode. If you'd like
Thank
Matt to be
you.
part of your podcast team, get in touch at business@mbpod.com or on mbpod.com to find out more about his services. If you want to hear his work, listen to Coffee with a Podcaster, short thought pieces on topics of podcasting shared over a cup of Joe. That's it, folks.
Awesome content.
That's all.
While you're there, why don't you give him 5-star review? You can do that for us too. You can do it right there in app where you are. You can also find us at Podcast on Instagram or thepodcast@gmail.com. We love you. Thank you so much for sticking with it. Find someone and pass the podcast still their phone. Give us 5 stars, baby.
Thank
DL, is that a
you.
tally ho?
There you go.
Later, skater.